We'll call the meeting to order and have a roll call.
Mr. Fiddler?
Here.
Mr. Oblin?
Here.
Mr. Love?
Here.
Mr. Burridge?
Here.
Mr. Huckabee? Mr. Alexander?
Here.
Mr. Burgess?
Here.
Mr. Regan?
Here.
The chair declares we have a quorum to conduct business, and will recognize the director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. First, I'd like to recognize Director Tim Gatz of the Turnpike Authority. He's joined us. He's over against the wall trying to be incognito, but he's got that nice Mexican tan, so he kind of stands out in this crowd. But thinking about Tim left us a month ago, and our new deputy director I wanted to announce to the commission is Russell Hewlin. Russell has served as our director of finance and administration for the last 3 years and brings a wealth of knowledge and experience, having been the deputy director of the tax commission before we were able to get him to join the transportation ranks. So, Mr. Chairman, if I might, Russell, you want to come up and say a couple of words?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, the commissioners. It is an honor and privilege to work for an agency that has such a positive impact on Oklahoma. Our dedicated men and women of the department, they accomplish so much for the state, and it's just an honor to be a part of that. I have so much respect for those working in the field and our field DEs. You know, they have challenges every day, and they meet those challenges very well. As long as our central office who support the agency in a great way as well. You know, it's also great to work with a group of professionals on the senior staff and the director who truly have a genuine concern for all ODOTers, and it's inspiring, and it's one that I look forward to in this new role, helping support the agency the best I can. But I want to thank the director for the opportunity and look forward to it. Thank you.
Congratulations. Who's got the next one?
Not too good on the hand signals this morning, but Don Sullivan has an announcement as well.
All right. Good morning, Don.
I am very pleased to announce that Mr. Ken Phillips was recently named the division manager for the Facilities Management Division. That's the division that oversees design construction of the new field construction offices, maintenance facilities, ports of entry, and way stations. Ken joined ODOT in 1996 as a senior drafting tech with roadway design before becoming the design supervisor for the OSU design team for more than 12 years. He then served as a transportation manager, developing and overseeing the engineering development branch in roadway design before being named to his current position. He and his wife, Stacy, live in Edmond and have 4 children. So, Ken, stand up. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Item 88 is the approval of the minutes for the meeting of June the 6th. We voted, and nobody made a motion or anything. So we'll hear
Also
a motion.
moved.
We have a motion.
Seconded.
We have a second, and we know at least 6 people are for it. So we can all punch. And all right, that motion passes. Like I said, we're still new. There's not much education represented up here. Pass that down to Brad. But that motion passes, and hopefully we'll get a motion before we vote on the consent docket, which is 89 through 92. And if any commissioner would like to pull one of those items out and have it considered separately, we will do that. Otherwise, we'll hear a motion for all items through 92.
Make a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. We are now ready to vote. Motion passes. We will hear item number 93 by Mr. Tiegler.
Well, I think everybody was kind of in a hurry this morning. Do you have any questions of me? No, I'm just kidding. Item 93 are programming items. I have two this month. Part A is Muskogee County. This is approval to program a project to repair vehicle impact damage to a county road over US 69. The estimated cost is $130,000 using state funds. Project can be ready in 2016 of October. Party responsible for the damage is known. Part B, Creek County. This is also to repair fire damage to I-44 bridge over State Highway 66. This estimated cost is $40,000 using state aid funds. Project can be ready for October 2016 letting as well. Party responsible is also known. I can answer any questions if you have anything. Your approval is recommended.
Heard the recommendation on item 93, both A and B.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 94.
Item 94, I have three parts, A, B, and C. Every one is a statewide contract. Part A, all districts on-demand airborne LiDAR mapping. This is with Bering Tree Land Survey and Quantum Spatial. This is for $1 million for these two firms, $500,000 each. Funding will be 100% state funds. Part B, also statewide, it's our on-demand environmental studies with the 7 firms: Able Consulting, CC Environmental, CEC Corporation, CH Guernsey and Company, CP&Y Incorporated, Cox McLean Environmental Consulting, and Garber. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 7 contracts is $2.1 million. Funding is also state funds, 100%. And finally, Part C, this is also statewide. This is our on-demand shop drawing review. We've selected 2 firms, AIA Engineers and MKEC Engineering. Aggregate not to exceed amount for these 2 contracts is $500,000. Funding is also 100% state funds. Approval is recommended. I'll try to answer any questions that you may have.
You've heard the recommendation on item number 94, items A, B, and C. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote. Got somebody? Maybe mine didn't register. It didn't. Okay. Motion passes. We're to item number 95, the engineering contract supplements.
Item 95, I have 5 parts. Part A is a statewide, all districts project reconnaissance data collection. This is with Able Consulting, CEC Corporation, CP&Y, Garver, Guy Engineering Services, H.W. Lochner, Professional Engineering Consultants, and White Hawk Engineering. Total aggregate not to exceed amount for these 8 contracts is $2 million. Part B, Oklahoma County, District 4. We've previously authorized Benham Design, also known as Leidos Engineering, to perform all engineering services for I-235. This is in Oklahoma City from south of 36th Street to the north of 63rd Street. Supplement not to exceed amount is $2,411,900. These projects are in the 8-year construction work plan with a scheduled let date in 2016. And you can see the estimate for just under $87 million for those 2 projects. Part C in Dewey County, Commission District 5, we've authorized Dewberry Engineers to perform engineering and prepare final design plans for US 270, State Highway 3. Supplement not to exceed amount is $482,690. This project is also in the 8-year construction work plan, scheduled let date in 2022. Part D in Tillman County, Commission District 5. We've authorized Smith Roberts Baldischweiler to do engineering and prepare final design plans for State Highway 5 bridge and approaches. Supplement not to exceed is $98,750. This project is also in the 8-year construction work plan in 2020. And finally, Part E in Alfalfa County, Commission District 6. We've previously authorized CP&Y to do the engineering and prepare final design plans for State Highway 38 over the Salt Fork, Arkansas River. Supplement not to exceed amount is $60,541. This project as well is in the 8-year construction work plan for a scheduled let date in 2016. Approval is recommended, and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have.
You've heard the recommendation for these items A through E.
Motion approved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion?
Tim, on the B item,
Yes.
will that kind of finish up all the ongoing?
We have, I believe, 2 contracts or 2 phases that still need to be let. So we'll wait to see if anything changes between now and then to get those final plans completed. If not, then hopefully this will be the last, but we may have one more. We don't know.
Any further questions? Vote. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Item 96 is the lettings. Mr. Adkins.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, item 96 consists of the final September, the tentative October, and the tentative November 2016 bid openings. And the department recommends approval of item 96.
You've heard the recommendation on the bid openings.
Motion to approve 96.
We have a motion to approve 96, A, B, and C.
Second.
Have a second, any discussion? Hearing none, we are ready to vote. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Mr. Raymond is ready to present item number 97.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'd like to present item number 97, parts A through W. These represent the change orders on projects with a cumulative total of $50,000 or less. No action is necessary. This is presented for your information only, but I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you might have.
Does any commissioner have a question on the items that are less than 50,000? If not, thank you for that information. You may move on to item 98.
Thank you. I'd like to present item 98, parts A through P. These represent the change orders with a cumulative total of greater than $50,000 on their projects, and your approval is recommended.
You've heard the recommendation.
I'll make a motion.
Approval.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we are ready to vote. Somebody's still flashing. There we go.
I'm glad it's not me.
Motion
Thank you.
passes. Thank you. Some of us don't have those thoughts automatically. Item 99 is, there he is. He's up and ready to go.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Item 99 is in Division 4, Garfield County. The City of Enid has requested this industrial access project for transportation partners and logistics. TP&L is investing more than $6 million to build this facility and creating 20 new full-time jobs there in Enid. Project begins at US 412 on North 66th Street and extends north approximately 1 mile to the railroad tracks. The City of Enid will be responsible for the initiation, construction, and completion of all work associated with the project. The estimated cost of the entire project is $2.5 million, with the department's participation not to exceed $1,190,000. We recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions.
You've heard the recommendation on this Industrial Access Road Program addition.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second of that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Delce, the awards.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Item 100 are our recommendations from the June 16th bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the letting referred to by call order be awarded. It's call orders 15, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 100, 105, 110, base bid only, 130, 140, 160, 190, 210, 225, 230, 235, 240, 255, 260, 265, 270, and 280. It is recommended that the following items from the letting referred to by call order be rejected. It's call orders 50 and call orders 90 in lieu of the parts. This concludes our recommendations for award, and your approval is requested.
You've heard Mr. Delce's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Motion approved.
We have a motion to approve the awards.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 101, Mr. Hewlin, is the agreement with the Oklahoma Capital Improvement Authority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. This item relates to the budget agreement, which was between the legislature and governor this past session. This item gives the director the authorization to enter into the necessary agreements for the payment of debt service related to the $200 million bond issue. We would ask for your approval, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I think we're all familiar with this item. You've heard the presentation.
Motion for approval.
We have a motion to approve item 101. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. The motion passes.
Thank you.
You did your part, and the department did their part for the budget. Thank you, Mr. Hewlin. We'll recognize the director for his report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Yes, we did do our part, and thank you for approving that particular agenda item. That gets us the next step as we begin the process of issuing bonds to the Capital Improvement Authority. Our hope is that we're able to get those bonds issued before the holiday season this year, beginning with Thanksgiving. It's very important that we get these bonds sold as quickly as possible for a couple of reasons. First, we need to go ahead and begin drawing down on some costs that we've already incurred with projects that are currently under construction. But secondly, the market is in an excellent position for us to sell bonds. And so we need to take advantage of the low interest rate environment so that we can save the state money ultimately and make this as seamless as possible. The other thing, I'd really appreciate your approval of the industrial access project for Enid. Sitting over here to my left about the fourth row, he'll raise his hand in just a second, is Brett Kissling from the Enid Regional Development Alliance. Brett hosted me up to the facility about 3 weeks ago. It's a great development up there. It's a transload system, a location where things will be coming in and out on rail and in and out with trucks. This will help the development of the access to the highway US 412. They've already made significant improvements with a rail spur so they can bring in large unit trains. They will bring in all types of commodities to transload to trucking and make those, make it an opportunity to get products to market quicker than what we have today. So thank you for that. I know it was a large number, but it was very much needed for the state. The last thing I want to visit with you about is, and I want to really, I hope I express our pride and our gratitude for the FastLane Grant Award that we received last week. $62 million grant from the federal government on a $120 million, $220.6 million budgeted project on US 6975 in Calera and Durant. We have a lot of safety issues on that stretch of highway today. When you're in Texas, you're coming off of a 4-lane divided facility. You get to Oklahoma and it's a 4-lane facility not divided, and then you get to Calera and you start with stoplights. We have interstate type truck traffic on that facility, and as they go through Calera and they get stopped, it becomes a gridlock situation. And when an accident occurs, it's awful. We have significant development going on in southern Oklahoma, specifically around Durant. We have industry moving into that area, so it's just going to exacerbate the problem. So we had to come up with a solution, and this was one of the locations that I mentioned before that we identified for a FastLane grant, the others being in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Out of the 212 applications nationwide, we were one of 18, the third largest grant given by the USDOT. So as we work through this process, and we're going to have to adjust some projects in Division 2 to fit this one in, because we have to spend the money within a defined period of time. So as we go through our 8-year plan, we'll be adjusting projects in that part of the state to get it fit in so that we can get it completed. It's much needed and becoming even more so every day. I would be remiss if I didn't offer congratulations and my appreciation to our captain on this effort was Linda Koenig, who is our grant writer, and she takes us through all of our grants. We've been successful with Tiger grants in the past. This was obviously our first time with a FastLane grant. And Linda took us through that process. She knows exactly what she's done, worked with Anthony and his staff down in Division 2, got the rest of us lined up. We did exactly what she told us to do, and we got it done. So special gratitude to Linda for her efforts, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, congratulations on the grant, and, you know, competing against other projects all across the country, it really says something that you got the third largest award, or any award at all. Of course, we know we have the chairman, and we have you, and we have a great grant and a great need, and got the secretary on our side, but it's still a gigantic accomplishment for a very, very, very bad problem.
Well, it is, Mr. Chairman, and you mentioned the support that we have, the Choctaw Nation. Chief Batten had a conversation with Secretary Fox and, you know, explained the need for it. Of course, we got Chairman Inhofe, who lent his support to the project, as well as Congressman Mark Wayne Mullen. So without all of that support and all of the support of the Department of Transportation, we don't get this done.
Well, I think it's important to note that when the staff was doing the conceptual designs for that, they've come up with a plan to not totally disrupt the communities where this money is going to be spent, which is awesome.
It is, to be able to fit this facility in the, pretty much the existing right-of-way so as not to disturb anything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Any further questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, may I make a quick comment and a question? Director, the bonds, can you give us an idea what kind of timetable we're looking at there in terms of the actual bringing these bonds to market?
Yes, I can. I'm trying to think of the exact date, but it's probably not important. The last week in June, the Capital Improvement Authority approved our reimbursement resolution. And that is to say that any projects that are already started, that we've already started, that are in 2016 8-year plan, we can go back and capture those costs and draw those down immediately upon selling the bonds. We want to go to market as quickly as possible, and we'll have to do that before the Thanksgiving break because you really don't sell anything after Thanksgiving. It's a bad time to be in the market. People are on vacation, holidays, and the like. I would like to see something early October if we can get everything put together, and that would be all the legal forms and get the underwriting team together. So I'd like to see an early October, but if we have to go late October, I'm okay with that. But again, the sooner the better so we can begin drawing those proceeds down. Because on December 1st, according to the budget deal, we're going to lose $200 million on that date. They're going to come over and take $200 million cash away from us, and we will need as much of that $200 million in bond proceeds back in our account before that happens. Or we will potentially have a issue with cash flow.
So the offering sometime in hopefully early October then is what
Early
you're
October.
looking.
That's my goal.
Thank you, sir.
Further questions or comments?
Yeah, I had a question on the project on Highway 69 down there in Durant. Two things. First of all, on the fast lane grant or whatever the name of it is that is there a particular kind of project that meets the requirement of that particular grant, or is that just?
Yes. It was dedicated. It's a competitive grant process for those freight corridors that have either national or regional significance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be, it's heavily freight identified, which that project was, along with I-44 in Midwest City was another one, the grant application that we put in, along with I-44, I-40 in Midwest City and I-44 in Tulsa west of the Arkansas River. Both of those two projects, we will resubmit those at the appropriate time, which will be along about next spring.
Okay. And the obvious kind of follow-up thought would be, let's be sure that any other projects like the two that you mentioned, that we can maybe get another grant, falling in the same kind of requirement that would need to be there for that particular grant, that we could, go back to the well again in the future if we have that particular kind of project. Is this like a interstate type interchange there, a limited access type interchange? What all is going on with the design?
It is. It's going to be a grade separated interchange so that we can get rid of the stoplights and get rid of the conflicts with the grade separation.
Thanks.
More than one stoplight.
More than one stoplight,
Yeah.
stoplights.
What they're doing, basically, Commissioner, is putting in access roads and taking the stoplights out, and not really disturbing any of the commercial businesses going through there. And this is a big accomplishment,
Yes.
a gigantic accomplishment. And will make the people that are wanting 6975 fully controlled happy, but not overwhelmed,
That's right.
because we still have some red lights. Any more comments or questions? But I guess the big thing about the FAST grants and the new highway, I mean, we had to have a new highway bill. It had to have FAST grants in it, and then we had to be awarded one. So there's 3 very high hurdles that had to be jumped, and all of that was accomplished because of the leadership we have, basically. What else? Anything further?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Director. We'll hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. We are ready to vote. Everybody make sure they vote yes. Motion passes.